All right, everyone, promise me to not freak out because I have a very exciting guest to introduce next. We have the incredible ateatree here to showcase Amplitude. Hold on to your seats because we're off on an exciting rhythm adventure.
Thank you so much, Sel. Although I'm a little upset you took one of my jokes. um, they are right in that she is right in that Frequency is another game from the company that you might see if you're reading the small text at the bottom of your screen that says Harmonix Music Systems. This is a game from Harmonix, the makers of Guitar Hero and later Rock Band. Yes, they made lots of other games too. Specifically, this game is a mid-2010s successor or spiritual successor to a 2001 or 2002 game called Frequency and a 2004 sequel called Amplitude for the PS2. So this is the PS4 version. I am super excited and maybe a little bit nervous to be showing it off for you here today. But thankfully, I am not alone. I have some friends and rivals with me. We've got Selkuth Mine on the microphone, and then also my great friend JPEG here.
Yeah. So I am a big Amplitude fan. It was kind of like a meme for a hot minute that every time Amplitude got brought up, like I was like, okay, but Amplitude and Marathon when? And ateatree went, oh, bet.
I'm like, wait a second, that's a really good idea. So yes, you can thank and or blame JPEG for what's going to be happening over the next half an hour or so.
Yeah, it's this game is a certified club banger.
Yeah, unfortunately, it turns out the greatest rival of all is actually Sony Computer Entertainment, because JPEG was meant to be my rival for this match, and then a few days ago, the PlayStation 5 released a controller firmware update, and Jay's controllers have not been the same since, apparently.
No. Oh. Apparently technology comes for us all one of these days.
Seems that way.
So, but I am still here chatting and talking, and will be helping, especially as ateatree focuses on some of the spicier moments on some of these maps. Just talking about the game, having a good time. But seriously, y'all are not going to want to miss this, and I guarantee you once they start that you're going to be like, I never want to stop watching this. So that milestone for the end of this, y'all, we got to make it happen.
Yeah, where are we at on that, Sal?
So we are still at $1,332 of the $1,400 needed, so $68 away.
Okay. All right, and only $5 more to one of those cool totals. So if you like that sort of thing,
yeah.
All right. We've got a 35-minute give or take set list lined up for you, so let's not take too much longer. Let's get into it here. We're going to be playing the majority, if not the entirety, of this set list on super difficulty, which is technically the same as the difficulty underneath it, expert, except it takes out all of the power-ups, and Jay can talk about that in a little bit when there's an opportunity to talk about different difficulties. But super strips out every power-up except the one that doubles your score, and it brings segments of the track back into the game sooner than it normally would otherwise. So you're playing a lot more of the song. Things are dropping in and out. It's very much like a DJ sequencing music, and you'll get a chance to see that real soon. You'll get a sense for what it's like. But without too much further delay, let's get over to our songs. The first song we'll be playing is song number 3, Dreamer. But before we get started,
and do you need
please.
You need the bid war results. All right, so we have actually a last second donation. We have $25 from Satan herself, who says, let's snipe this. Blue is one part of purple, so why not support it? Can't wait to hear y'all on mic. Y'all are gonna rock it. Less than 3, and that has put blue in the lead.
All right.
$70. Thank you all. The bid war raised $160 total, so thank you all so much for your generosity.
Very cool. Thank you, Satan. And both Satan and Mitty for your amazing rack and slay run. I had a fun time watching that while I was getting set up. And let's get to it.
Chubs.
And ateatree is regularly a Chubs player, I think. So
I play a little bit of everything.
I'm a big Boxy hater, so I'm just relieved that it wasn't Boxy. I'm going to be so real. But yeah, so the way that this game works, in case you are noticing right now, is that each track is separated for a different, like, sort of instrument. Those can kind of be a little bit variable. Generally, blue is bass, red is usually guitar, yellow is synth, pink is drums and green is vocals, is about how it breaks down. And you notice that ateatree is essentially having to like build this track and this music live. So if that sequence is not cleared, it's not going to be playing. So you're going to see a lot of like music dropping in and out. And when you're sitting on a track, the mix actually pulls that track forward so that you can hear what's going on. So as we're jumping around, you can hear the balance changing. So really no playthrough of this game and playthrough the song sounds the same. Which is really, really fun because while you've got that, yeah, I'm listening to my favorite tracks and I love them, they don't quite sound the same.
Yeah.
You get to pick up
and it's doubly so, like, you make a single mistake and suddenly you're on essentially an entirely different path for the song than you would have been otherwise, which I have naturally done, you know, just trying to listen and talk along with y'all. So this is a different version of this song than I normally play, technically.
Yeah, and it can cause you to like hear some things in the track that you've never heard in your life because they're usually softer in the mix, depending on what you're doing. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do the controller configurations. It's like, oh my god, your double jump always.
Hey, you see those gold notes out of the corner of your eye. If you want to talk about power-ups, but I had to get over there, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so you can see as T passes that base sequence with the X's. So once you complete all of the ones that are marked with an indicator, in this case, you're going to see a lot of yellow X's. That is multiply, one of our power-ups. That, of course, kind of does what you're thinking. It's a score multiplier. There are other ones that we won't see because we're playing in super. Namely, oh my gosh, I'm literally forgetting the names because we're live, but there's one that slows down the track. There's one that clears the sequence. Flow, cleanse.
Sedate.
And sedate, yes. And then there is another one, if you're playing local multiplayer.
Disrupt, yeah.
That disrupt. Actually, there's two on multiplayer because there's disrupt, and then there's another one that essentially like teleports them. So if you ever play local multiplayer of this game, you can be a jerk to your friends and completely yeet them off track, which is really, really fun. Unfortunately, we won't see that here, but it's very, very funny to do to a friend. But yeah, so sedate does about what the name suggests. It slows down the track for a brief period of time through difficult parts of the map. It's very, very helpful.
Not good for speedrunning, though. Or you know, a timed showcase.
To be honest, I don't even like it in casual play that much because of the way that it speeds back up slowly is not my cup of tea personally. I don't enjoy it. But yeah, so cleanse will clear a part of the track, and flow will send you into this like full track clear moment that uses your streak to amass more points because you're not actually hitting things at that time. However, we're not really going to see that.
Right.
And what this does mean is that as a player, also beautiful first song, shout out to Dreamer, and this is such a nice like chill way. Y'all, we're gonna be bumping.
Yeah, honestly, I think one of the things to say about this, and you've already heard it at this point, is that the set list and the audioscape for this game is very different from a lot of rhythm games. Mm-hmm. This is focused on like techno, trance, house, a lot of electronic style stuff. That Harmonix was getting more experimental around this time. They'd done the Guitar Heroes, they'd done a couple of rock bands. They actually have a song in here from one of their own games where they tried to do a music shmup around this time. We won't be seeing that in the bonus showcase, but it is an interesting song and a lot of very experimental stuff coming out of Harmonix around this time, and this is one that, you know, Jay and I both particularly love. Mm-hmm. Another thing that
the music is
sorry,
just
go ahead.
Great. No, I was just going to say the music is just great, and yeah, it's really refreshing.
And of course, you mentioned the music being really great and you liking it, as we go to probably your favorite song in the entire showcase.
Yeah. That's correct. I love Break For Me. I'm kind of just a big, like, I'm a Break For Me freak. And by the way, we're also using that freak pun because, like we said, Frequency is the other game. ateatree is playing on what is called freak mode. Normally, the base game of Amplitude plays where you're on kind of a very, very slightly curved flat track. Frequency mode allows you to be playing in this ring. I prefer this 110 times to 1. It's so for when you're playing these higher difficulties and stuff like that, one of the things that you can avoid by having this game in frequency mode is, since you can see basically like 3 of the track you're on around the map. Say you're going uphill and you cannot see a lot of the track ahead of you because you're going to see this bend coming up that ateatree is near. You're not seeing notes far enough in advance at some points. That's okay. Just flip to another part of the ring and it's the same track and you're good. So it's a little bit more strategic, and it also allows you
like that
when you're in super right now. Yeah, exactly. Ateatree may not be able to see the multiply booster on the track they're on because of the angle, but if they can see it across the ring, they know as soon as they get to any of that track, there it is. So you have multiple opportunities to grab it. So yeah, and you can also see, like, as we're doing this, and we mentioned that, oh, you were so brave. Some of these notes are unbelievably close to the ends of their sequences, and when you're moving to the next track, you literally have to be basically already pressing in midair the input because it is just so tight. And this game is not the most forgiving thing in the world.
If you are familiar with Harmonix games, this does use Rock Band-esque timing. So you have, depending on how fast the song is going, you might have somewhere between an 8th and the 16th note of grace coming from the end of one measure to the next, if the notes are very closely bunched together. Hey, we haven't mentioned yet, how do I get from one section to another?
That is with, right now, you are doing this with the D-pad. Depending on your controller, you can also do with the joystick. I believe we've discussed this. You are using what is called the right dominant seek control, which is the preset default of the game, and honestly, like, the best. Fight me on it. But yeah, using the D-pad to jump over. So also any of these that you're seeing ateatree do, if they're skipping a track, they are in the middle of everything, somehow breaking the rhythm of the game, tapping on the D-pad multiple times out of sequence to change tracks. By the way, I think we mentioned this, but all of these notes that ateatree is hitting, they're doing with the triggers. So you are doing R1 and R2. So R1 is your center button, R2 is your right, and then L1 is your left. So this game is mostly played with the triggers. That can seem a little strange at first, but it gets to be really, really satisfying and comfortable the more you do it. And the game has a really, the difficulty curve of learning, I think, is really, really solid. I think the big jump is from advanced to expert, is right about where it starts to get crispy. But yeah, no, this game is, it's really easy to pick up, and even if you're playing on beginner, the music is going to sound the same no matter the difficulty. It is the challenge to you that changes.
Yeah, what you're really wrapping your head around here is, as opposed to a Rock Band or a lot of other games where you're playing a single instrument, here you have to be able to independently keep track of in your head the relative rhythms and speeds at which each of the individual tracks are going, because you're going to be switching back and forth between them. And then beyond that, you also have to train your peripheral vision to see those, you've probably noticed when we get to the end of a measure, any other available measure on another instrument, the first note in that column is kind of lit up. So I'm looking for those raised pillars of light so I know where to jump over to and which button to hit first.
Yes. But if you have a lot of things cleared, especially in frequency mode, you see these like rainbow dots all over the map for where
yes,
notes
there is some
would
visual
be.
noise.
And so if you're me and you're not playing on super and you are looking for those multiply power-ups, cleared synth tracks are challenging because then there are these yellow dots everywhere, and I keep going like, oh, and then finding out that no, that is not multiply over there, this is cleared synth track.
Yeah, no, there can definitely be some visual noise. We strongly considered putting in a flashing lights warning. There are a couple of tracks
yeah, plus the background.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing any in this showcase that are particularly flashing lightsy, but if you need to look away at any point, I completely understand. We built in a little bit of chill out for ourselves at several points throughout the set list. This is going to be one of those songs. So, Cell, if you have anything that we should know either about Blue Point or anything else that's going on, that now would be a great time.
Oh, I have so many exciting things to say because we just hit that milestone. We are getting that encore.
Yeah.
We are going to see those extra songs. Thank you all so much. I am dancing in my chair. I want to thank everyone who donated to get that met. We have Hop201 with $10 who said, I might have some insider knowledge, but I love the game of one of the extra songs we can unlock are fun. It is pretty super. It is so good. Trust me, this list is incredible. Anonymous with $13 who says, I can't look away. Encore. And 20XX with $20 taking us over there saying, send us sing ateatree to even more bangers.
Thank
you all so much for getting us there. We're going to have another milestone opening up very soon, but we do also have a brand new poll open that is for the Metroid Planets race coming up. You can help decide whether they're going to have hazard or danger rooms in the run, or if they're going to have no hazard rooms, which would be nice to the runners. So you can decide, are we going to be nice? Or are we going to be mean to the runners? Get your donations in for that poll.
And by the way, y'all, you're not gonna regret adding those extra tracks. Like, they are so great. And one of them, my important question is, do you like jazz? You're gonna be hearing some. So yeah, we talked about this game has a bunch of synth and stuff like that, and then one of the video game tracks violently breaks that rule. By the way, this is T-Tree's idea of a chill track. Let's just talk about the drum lines in Crystal. Now they are definitely not chill by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I mean, technically, like, you can hear that one of these synth tracks is also a drum track. You'll hear that rather a lot, because, you know, people layer synth drums in these kinds of songs relatively often. So they actually did right by how the stems, how the individual parts of the song were originally recorded in sequence. So drums will frequently show up on the synth tracks, but...
Synth as well. Yeah, and multiple drum tracks on top of each other. Yeah, internally, a lot of these sequences in this map too. Oh, and by the way, not to stress T-Tree out, but a reminder, another thing about Super that we didn't touch on is that in every other difficulty level of the game, you see that energy bar on the left? If you clear sequences after taking damage by messing something up, you regain that HP. Super said no. It will let you regain like the bottom two, I believe, bottom one or two.
No, it's just your only backstop is when you are out of energy. As long as you don't miss 2 segments in a row, you can keep playing.
Yes, yeah, that's what it is. Sorry.
No worries.
I don't play on Super. And there's a big reason for that. But T-Tree does and is absolutely killing it. But that being said, yes, your HP management is a lot spicier because recovery is not an option in Super. So, you know, no big deal. One of the other things that is happening is that streak, which of course your streak increases your score, etc. By the way, I didn't commend you before on your like perfect break for me, but you had like a 54 streak and a 100% sequence clear, so no big deal.
And you can see even in songs like that, like I think I was still about 5% behind my PB because a lot of it comes down to that kind of score seeking that you end up having to do. Knowing when to use the power-ups, and I'm not worrying about that today.
No, you're already annihilating this game. This one's a flashing lights warning of a map, by the way. Sorry, Phantoms is a little spicy. But what we're also seeing is we're not going to be able to do what I refer to as streak recovery. So cleanse and flow as the other power-ups that you can get if you're playing on the other difficulties. If you fire them off quick enough after making a mistake in order to still clear the sequence that you're on, you maintain your streak. So they're a great insurance policy for people like me, who will go oops and then just immediately hit flow so that I maintain my streak. Ateatree is not going to have that option. Their only option is multiply. So it's like, hey, figure it out. Good luck. But also, yeah, shout out to Freeze Pop and Phantoms. We were discussing right before we came on that this version of Phantoms is not actually like the final mix of Phantoms that made it onto like the Freeze Pop album, because this game came out before that. This game was actually a Kickstarter game. So a lot of the things that are in it are collaborations or things that we unlocked by backing things on the Kickstarter. I know for a fact that I was a backer of this game and am in the credits. And shout out, I believe Ateatree is as well, because we appeared in credits together before we ever volunteered on anything together, which I think is cool.
True.
But don't go looking for us. There's also like a gazillion backers, so don't put yourself through that. Thanks. Sorry, I just had to pause for the dramatic pause in the music.
Understandable.
But yeah, this game is super, super great. Like we said, there's a lot of like collaborations. There's literally a track in here from the Minecraft composer as well, like C418, I think. And yeah, so there's that. There is a song that somebody got to essentially put their song in the game. And then we also unlocked like a song from Team Harmonix, which you're not going to hear in the set list, but it is in there, and it's very, very sweet. It feels like a thank you from the developers themselves for backing this game and making it happen. So it does always make me smile.
So that the song you're thinking of, which is what is it, making whatever they call it, that's actually
Making
it's actually a Kickstarter redemption from the team at Insomniac Games, of all people.
Oh, it's Insomniac, yes.
And it is the same song they used in a YouTube video they made some years ago as a thank you for their 20th anniversary. Oh.
It's so cute.
Yeah, it's quite
it's
something.
Goofy. It's goofy, but like, I don't know, it makes me smile because it's like, y'all are having fun over there.
Yeah, no, it's them talking through an oral history of their games from Spyro to Resistance to upcoming games, and there's a rap breakdown in the middle. It's really something.
It's not in this set for reasons that, you know, you can guess.
Give you just a very silly little tit. All right.
It's we're making your games that kills me.
Very, very silly stuff. But yeah, this game is just like a celebration of several people at Harmonix's love of these genres. That's why a lot of these songs are from Harmonix, which incidentally also makes streaming rights a lot easier. So not that they planned on it like that in 2015 necessarily, but
yes. It wasn't actively a panic or concern on our part to play some of these tracks. Which, thank goodness, because I don't know that I could have navigated that personally.
Right? Yeah.
By the way, this game does have a campaign, because, yeah, okay. But if you're thinking like, oh, it's going to be like some band thing or something like that. No. So there is a character that is in a coma, and what you are on in this game is neuron pathways inside of her brain, essentially trying to wake her up, like to clear and stimulate these neuron pathways so that she wakes up. So a lot of the songs are also almost like a traversal through her memory. So the numbered songs are the ones that are in the campaign. And in addition, some of those are the bonus maps to get the true ending of the campaign. And the difficulty that Ateatree is playing on Super is only unlocked by beating the campaign on Expert. So pretty difficult to do, especially because this game has what I refer to as boss songs, where if you hit these walls, you notice that periodically we're going through these big gates. If you hit one of those gates with a lower than required streak, it does a ton of damage to your energy. And you also start with damage. So you got to be on your A game. And they can be very, very, very difficult, some of these maps, especially, gosh, I think it is literally Energize, is a lot of people's big hurdle in campaign, I would say. Because you start with damage, and then some of the initial maps that you're trying to recover and regain energy on are not easy. ICU is one of our first tracks that has a little bit of like a picked up BPM. You're gonna see more from there, I assure you. Some of these tracks come flying at you. So yeah, there's a campaign, and it's really, really neat, and it feels like you're exploring someone's mind on this kind of like trippy visual techno groove. And you don't really hear it in this, but there's like a narrator kind of voice and everything like that. There's audio basically like floating in from the scientists at certain parts, like we're losing her, bring her back, etc. It's very, very, very cool. And I think a really, really fun way to make a campaign, as opposed to, you know, traditional like Rock Band or stuff like that, that they made this very like personal. And yeah, it's very, very fun. And at the end, if you unlock the secret endings, you get a wild version of the final track.
Yes.
Which unfortunately, we're not gonna make y'all look at that, but they said, hey, for the final track of the campaign, if you do everything right, you get this like final difficult track. We're gonna mess with your eyes. And you go through basically like full-on synesthesia. The track is splitting and becoming prismatic, and like all the colors are splitting apart. I wouldn't say it's a feast for the eyes, but it's a lot.
Yes. And so what I'm noticing that I have to tell you about, because you can't see it for yourselves, is what's really happening here. A lot of the misses I'm doing is because I'm literally moving too fast, and too fast is just as bad as not fast enough. So
you're ahead of the beat.
Yeah, plenty of overhits here, especially as I'm trying to listen to JPEG explain everything.
Please ignore me if you need to.
No, not at all. I mean, we also took a few minutes as we were getting set up, because I don't usually stream console games, so I had to get all my audio routing right. And to give you an idea of my vintage as a human person, what helped me was to look at the layout in my Go XLR board and literally picture physical cables. So yes. We got there eventually.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is this is a console game. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is a PS4 game. Is available on PS5.
It's actually also available on PS3.
Oh.
They released it on PS3 about 6 months after they released it on PS4.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Yeah, hello Raiders. Come join the dance party.
Wolf has discovered my secret that I am in fact a human person. Deeply unfortunate.
Oh no.
So this song, as you can hear, is very different from everything we've played so far in terms of what kind of song it is.
Yes.
But this is like an all off rhythm song, and it's very neat for it, and it's also just a really cool song.
Mm-hmm. And the vocal track at the beginning and end is great. Did you expect that?
Yeah, you're just getting shouted at, and not by us.
Yeah. We're cawing now.
Technically, yes. I think you're right. But yeah, you can see the lift hill effect of that JPEG was describing earlier, with the relative density of the tracks and the angles at which they're being shown because of the speed of the track.
Yeah, it's yes, you were really close to like when the call gets all like weird and warped at that 1 second. It's so good. And then we just go back to vocal like that bird never happened. Yeah, can I get a caw in chat? Thanks.
Yeah, please, one's in,
yeah, the track
one's in
is
chat if you are actually a magpie and not a human person.
I would assume because we're gamers and magpies like shiny things, and so do gamers.
Very good
that,
point,
like, there's
yes.
a little magpie in all of us. So this track is for you, gamers. This one goes out to all the gamers here tonight. Somebody said 2. That means they are doubly a magpie. Thank you.
Hey, Sel, is there
is
any
one
chance
of
that you're
the-
also a magpie?
Sure. I am absolutely definitely a magpie.
Nice.
Well, this song is for you.
Have we heard from any magpies out there, or do we want to talk
Well,
about the awesome dogs of Blue Path service animals?
We did just get a donation in. They didn't say if they're a magpie or not, but Algo sent in $25 to Blue Path Service Dogs with the comment "Party on," and that went to the hazard rooms for that bid war that we have right now for Metroid Planets, where you can decide if we're going to have hazard rooms or no hazard rooms, which they are damaging rooms. They're super hard. It's going to make the run harder for the runners if the hazard rooms are included. So if you want to make life harder for them, absolutely include that. We also have a new milestone at $1,500.
Let's go.
The Geometry Dash runners are going to have to stop and build a dog in whatever level they're currently in. They have to build a dog, and it's going to add 5 minutes of dogs to the run. I think I want more dogs. After all, we're here raising money for autism service dogs. We like dogs here. So if you want to see dogs, donate in chat. All donations will go towards that milestone. And if you want, you can also put your donation towards that bid war to help decide hazard rooms or no hazard rooms for our Metroid Planets runners.
I mean, as fellow speedrunners, I think admittedly my vote is always on more pain during marathons because it means more marathon.
Good call.
So, you know, just throwing that out there. Yeah, you are staying on this hill climb right now on this song.
Yeah, some songs are just like that. Especially
Yeah.
on Super. Because the distribution of tracks, like I mentioned at the beginning, you know, we actually don't have mid-song gates here. The song just keeps going.
Nope.
There is no downtime. On Advanced, Intermediate, Expert, when there are those gates, you actually recover health if you meet the requirements for them, and they give you a brief breather. We don't get those here.
Nope. Yeah, which is an additional difficulty jump because when you go to playing on Super, you literally just get sequences that you've never seen before in your life because you don't normally play them. So that's always fun. But it does mean that you specifically get to play like when the beat drops and break for me, which normally is when the gates hit and break for me. So it is fun. Yeah, we don't breathe here.
But we do our best, and that was pretty good. It was within 100 points.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Can't be mad at that.
Yeah. Another 100% sequence clear. No
I
big
got at
deal.
least some shiny things on that one. All right, time to step it up another notch. You can tell the BPM on the song is much higher, if only because you're looking at what's on the screen there. We went from 146 to 182.
Yep.
All right, time to have some fun.
Let's do this. And by the way, y'all, to give Teachery some breathing room on this song, also look how fast this track is flying at them. It's always a little intimidating at first, but the like rainbow rings on the side of this track are also so satisfying. But seriously, thank you so much for hitting that video game music showcase. A little bit more about that and what you're going to get to see specifically is you're going to see Crypta the Necro Dancer, Cryptech or Cryptique, which we were in fact discussing how you're supposed to pronounce it. We're not actually 100% sure. We're also going to be seeing the track Impossible by Darren Korb from Transistor. So that is also a classic. Transistor mentioned. Transistor fans in chat, anybody? And then we are ending with Unfinished Business from Skullgirls. So yeah, we're gonna have some sick jazz playing, and you're gonna have kind of like a back and forth between two horns, and you play like both sides of it. It's very, very fun. It's like you're playing like a solo off between the musicians, and it feels really, really good to play. But yeah, this track is flying at them. Though, you know, as we're raising money for Blue Path and also for some of those bid wars and everything coming up, if you want to tell us how you think you pronounce the track, I'm going to type the name of the track in chat, and I want to see if everybody give us your best pronunciation of that in donations. I want to know. And also, if not that, can I hear some donations for what video game tracks you would add to Amplitude that you'd love to see mapped out in this way? Because I'm sure looking at this game, you have something in your head that you're like, I want to know how they would do that. So yeah, go ahead and send those in as well. We'd love to hear them. Pausing a bit for the banger music, and no, I don't know what's going on in the background of this track. They look like, some of the things look like broken buildings. They also look like broken car keys. Ateatree, don't look at them while I'm saying this, by the way.
I'll do my best.
It's really hard because your eyes want to go and be like, what's going on back there? But you gotta lock in. One of the things that I'm sure Ateatree gets this, is when to pop off the multiplier booster. Because for me, if I pop the booster like out of actual like rhythm, I can get so thrown off and then immediately fail the multiplier.
Yeah, it's not uncommon, to be sure.
Yeah. Especially because I'm used to like I said, since I play with cleanse and flow, I'm used to being able to save my streak and kind of just popping things off immediately. One of the things that we're not running into, and if I were playing, you would see me look directly into the camera like I'm Jim from The Office, because this happens at least once a play session, usually 4 or 5 times, as I'm holding on to a booster that I like. And then I accidentally get a booster I don't like right at the end. And I go to pop off what I think is cleanse or flow. Also nice. Nice.
Yeah, bit of a rough start. I had a few things where I missed the last note on, and that's another thing that's very common, especially on these faster songs. When the space in between one segment and the next is so small, if you switch over early, you've retroactively failed the previous measure. You know, even if the note isn't the same, you can absolutely drop a beat by switching over at the wrong time. So that's something that I also have to control for in addition to everything else. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and
it's time.
That also means that we're going into
it's time for
another spicy boy.
Yeah, you may have heard Jay mention this earlier. I am gonna turn you two down in my headphones. You feel free to break in whenever you feel necessary. I'm gonna get locked in on this one.
They're gonna lock in.
See you on the other side.
Yep, this one. Yep. Enjoy. Yeah, Energize was kind of, when we were discussing this, Energize was our okay, we just gotta go for it. Energize is wild. So be ready for some real gaming. You haven't been seeing that already. We've got this nice, this is about as chill as it's gonna get right now. And then it's gonna be not that chill really quick. This map is very, very challenging. Like I said, this is a lot of people's kind of gate to entry through the campaign, and very, very difficult. Shout out, it's so weird seeing a rhythm game where the score is 5k instead of 998648. Oh yeah, you are fighting for every single point in this game, and every single one matters. Your streak is a big deal. You'll also notice during the multipliers that your streak normally is ×1 to ×4. When you put on multiplier, of course it doubles, so the top becomes ×8. So yeah, those are the only times you get to technically double your score. So yeah, literally every point matters, and singular notes down to one little 2-4 point situation can make or break you on the leaderboards, especially in Super. So really, really complex, and you have to be very, very strategic and thoughtful, especially because you get control of what tracks you're moving to. So like we mentioned, Ateatree is doing that searching for these multipliers. They're not on every track. And if you get thrown off your game, maybe you have started with, you know, it's like, okay, I'm good at this one. I'm fine. I know where all my multipliers are. If I just like start going left from the beginning, I kind of hit everything I need to hit. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You mess up one sequence and you're like, no, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to clear this out. You could completely throw off your game and end up not seeing like any multipliers or any boosters in other game for a long time. And you can throw yourself off. You can, in fact, throw yourself off your groove in a fraction of a second. So yeah, this is really spicy and T is doing phenomenal. Sel, do we have anything that you want to add about why we're here and what we're doing?
Well, reminder, we are $75 away from getting that Build the Dog milestone
Nice.
for Geometry Dash coming up very soon. But of course, we are here raising money for Blue Pass Service Dogs, a charity that provides service animals to autistic individuals. Multithon focuses on co-op runs, races, and games with multiple protagonists or helper characters, led by the belief that we are better and faster together. And we are absolutely crushing it. Of course, we are hoping to hit $5,000 because that means we get to name another puppy. Who doesn't want to name another puppy? If we can get there by the end of the event, we'll get to name another one to go along with Thunder and Lightning, who will hopefully be born soon.
Shout out to naming the third dog Amplitude 2016. That is definitely going to be in the vote list. It's Amplitude 2016. That's going to be the dog's full name. Also, gosh, like this is so spicy and so close. So chat, lend them your power as we get to the end of the song. We can hear the final gate and oh, thank God.
All right, some streak breaks in there that made me a little nervous, but we got there okay.
You got there. You got there. That's why you locked in on Energize. So phenomenal job. And I'd like to note that even with those streak breaks and HP, like look at the amount of sequences that they had to clear, like with that difficulty. So it's like, oh my gosh, like they messed a couple things up. And look at that still incredibly high score. That also just is an indicator of how difficult Energize is.
Yeah, the gold bars are the equivalents of like gold stars on a song in a Guitar Hero or Rock Band. And relative to one of those games, I would say these scores are a little more lenient, but there's still nothing to sneeze at.
No.
All right, time for one more calm down song in our set list here, and then we will encore ourselves into some bonus songs after I make you wait an unspecified period of time, because that's how that works, right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Lights is really, really fun. This song is...
Yeah, this is one of these Kickstarter songs we were mentioning earlier.
Mm-hmm. In the dawn of every day, oh, I love that you mix it with the vocals first.
Yeah, so for the most part, I picked one of the synth tracks on most of these songs actually kind of gives you the best path to get to additional power-ups, which is why I do it. But on this song, I don't think there's an early multiply, so you can kind of just do whatever. So it felt like vocals was the right way to go there.
Yeah, it feels right. It's a good way to build this one. Yeah, and what I was mentioning during Energize is like, if you get thrown off, you may not see a booster or something for a while, and your mix is going to sound weird to you, and everything can get a little...
Especially on Super,
funky.
because tracks come back 3 to 4 measures after they disappeared. So there's pretty much always going to be one out of the mix, maybe 2. But yeah, if you start making mistakes, you may end up with just one instrument audible for a little while.
There's also this like thing that you can get into, which you're definitely not supposed to do this on Super, but on the other difficulties, I get kind of like locked in. If I mess something up and I know that I shouldn't have, I will sit on that track with a vendetta until I do it right.
I absolutely had a couple of moments during Energize where I'm like, did I really stay here?
But at the same time, you're like, no, I know how to do this. I know what the rhythm is. Like, you can hear it, and you just want it. And so you'll just stick to it. So yeah, I hope you're having fun with this, because I know I am, and I know that we have more coming up. But I do want to say again, like, thank you so much for letting us be here and do this and enjoying the opening of your music block. This game is an absolute freaking delight, and we want to see it at more things. So we hope you're having just as much fun as we are.
Back to the summertime.
Yeah, what they said. Hey, Sal, did you get a chance to talk during the last song? Obviously, I couldn't hear, but if there's anything else you'd like to tell people, talk about, you are certainly welcome to do so.
Indeed, I did get a chance to talk, but I just want to thank everyone for all of the donations so far. We are making incredible progress. And just a little bit more about Bluepath. They provide autism service dogs, offering safety, companionship, and opportunities for independence. Their vision is to be the definitive leader in autism service dog provision, transforming the lives of individuals, families, and communities. And these dogs are so vital for safety and freedom of families, because they can help prevent the child from, like bolting out into the street or away from parents. They provide companionship, opportunities for independence, and increase levels of confidence so many ways that these dogs change the lives of these children and these families. So, !donate in chat to get your donations in to go towards an incredible cause here in Bluepath Service Dogs.
Yeah, as somebody who knows many people who are autistic at, with different needs and different capabilities, knowing that there are groups out there like Bluepath that help account for people who may be nonverbal, who may be higher needs, who may not be able to live on their own, is a really special thing to make available to people. I'm super grateful that they exist, and I love being part of this event to help support it as a charity.
Yeah, this one's really, really special, just emotionally, for a lot of folks. And then everything is also dog themed, which is really, really great. And then we have that 5K goal, which allows us to name that puppy. So there's nothing to not like here. But I think that means we've reached the end of our official set, and we're about to go into our encore set of video game music.
Yes, indeed.
Is that correct? Yeah. So, okay, y'all, this is what you made happen. Thank you for raising over...
Where do you want to start, Jay, out of these three?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do we start with...
How are your fingers feeling?
Oh, I'm good. I'm exactly as nervous as I was when we started.
You're so real for that. Okay, let's start with Impossible then, because you're on it. And I think it's really, really nice transition after Lights. They sound the same to me.
Yeah, so if you've played Transistor by Supergiant Games, they have Bastion, Pyre, Hades 2. This is the fight against Royce, who is the final boss, basically the only non-powered character in the game. It's yeah. If you love Transistor, you know. I don't have to tell you anything.
Yes. We will concede that this track of Transistor does not have Red's humming on it, which you would think would make sense, but it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. The song is still a banger. We just have like the humming off. So and yes, I see some hype for Transistor in chat. So thank you so much. It is super cool. And this was actually, fun fact, like my first exposure to Transistor at the time. So I kind of backwards learned about the existence of Transistor and fell in love with it after this track. Also, shout outs to the surfy spy energy of this track. It's just, this is so fun. There are some sections of this map that I struggle with.
Is it that Trimplet synth line?
It might be. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely something you have to get used to by itself.
Yeah.
And this game doesn't have a practice mode, so the only chance you get to practice is by full sending.
Yep, that's basically it. So
Another one of those perils
yeah,
of being a Kickstarter game. You know, there's features that they offered as stretch goals, and unfortunately, while this game was met with a warm reception and was met in terms of its Kickstarter goals, not all of the stretch goals were, including the one for online multiplayer. Sad face.
I know. I'm permanently a little bit sad that we did not meet online multiplayer, because I think that if anything, what could have been is that I think a lot more people would know about this incredible game if it had the online multiplayer aspect and you got to mess with your friends online instead of just locally. But we're showing it here now, and that is more than enough for me. So yeah, it's just this one's a banger, and then we love a Darren Korb moment. Don't know if you've heard about Darren Korb in this cool game called Hades. You should look it up. By the way, y'all, we do still, like I said, we did have those that little call. If there is a track from a game that you think should be an Amplitude, or you wish there was an Amplitude map for, we want to hear about it. Chatter donations, either one. Yeah,
there was some discussion before I got up here to start the showcase about the Chrono Trigger, which would be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be so sick, yeah. I would also love, like, if they did, what if Amplitude 3, and it has some Hades tracks in there, would be sick nasty. Personally, I think an Inscription track, even though it would be, like, slow, I think that would be baller to have in this game. Especially if it's, like, a higher difficulty unlock, would be really, 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 really neat. But yeah.
At that point, you just have to get into, like, trap mechanics. Have
yes,
fake notes on the lane that the trapper takes away from you.
Yes. Or like sequences that just get pulled away entirely. It wasn't a real sequence and you break it. Oh, cruel. I would love that. Hey, Harmonix, call us.
Yeah, no, I know somebody who's friends with a bunch of people who worked at Harmonix around this time, so I'm sure Rigopolis will take my phone call. Alex Rigopolis being the CEO of Harmonix Music Systems. Probably still. I don't know for sure.
We'll have to go check. Yeah, Hades would be sick nasty. Ooh, from chat, I would love to see some Sonic tracks in here. 06 tracks would work amazingly.
I could see
oh
that.
My
yeah,
God,
do
yes.
some,
Yes.
what is it? What's the Future Zone? The city?
Oh, yeah.
I want to say Chaos City, but I don't think that's right, so. You tell me.
I'll have to look up the exact name of it, because what we're not going to get into on this stream is Hydro City versus Hydrocity.
No, Splishy Splashy Fun Time Zone only, please.
Yes. Oh, Crisis City. Thank you.
It's hard.
You
It
alleviated
is
the
surprisingly
crisis.
difficult to remember a game ephemera when you have other music and you're talking to people and stuff is going on, yeah. But you may recognize this one, speaking of...
Another rhythm game. So, yeah. This is the one that we were asking. Do you think it's Cryptek or Cryptique? I've always mentally pronounced it as Cryptek until literally moments before we went live when we had a discussion and we're like, it's probably Cryptique. One of the things I love about this track in particular is that there is in fact a vocal line, and it is the merchant. So what it feels like when you're playing this in Amplitude is that you're kind of just like going around the map and you're either near the merchant or not, like on the map. So now we're near him, we found him, we've unlocked the merchant, so we can use the shop. And yeah, so eventually we will walk away from the merchant and he will disappear. But it's my headcanon to think that you're just actually navigating the map in the dancer while you're doing this. There is also a track in this game, or a map in this track that is... I'm really excited to see you do it, because I don't like it very much.
The super fast triplets? Yeah, I think that's actually on a couple of lanes.
Yeah, the super fast triplets are... not fun. And also for clarification, Ateatree is a big rhythm gamer, specifically has a lot of harmonics history. Amplitude is quite literally the first rhythm game other than Stepmania that I ever played. It is the only harmonics game that I have played. So completely foreign and alien to me picking it up. This one gets harmonics. Whoop! Hey, that's what my controller's doing.
That was what you wanted, right?
That's what yeah. That's basically what my controller is doing and why I'm not doing this showcase. But yeah, this. Also, shout out to the zigzagging through this. It's very satisfying when you get it done right, but by God, if you get off sync, you are in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, the patterns that throw me off the most in this entire game are the zigzags that repeat for an extended period of time and go really fast. There are like 2 or 3 songs that have those, and it was a conscious choice to not include any of those here because I might not have completed them.
Yeah. For me, my biggest nemesis is literally the left to right, like full zigzag back and forth, like center to right or center to left. Fine, we can do that. Left to right zigzags are my nemesis in this game. And then the like rolling arpeggios. If you start right, you stay right. If you don't start right, good luck. You're never getting back in on it. Or, okay, I'm never getting back in on it. Ateatree, you're fine. JPEG, not so much. Petition to have all Kickstarter-funded games be appropriate choices for Multithon because you collaborated to make it happen. Yes, thank you.
Love it.
I accept this meta. All right. And this brings us to our final song of the bonus set.
Not my absolute favorite song from this game, but dang close. And it is so good. This is Unfinished Business from Skullgirls. So I know fighting games and speedruns may not have the most in common, although I do know people who speedrun fighting games, and this one is for you. So
Yeah.
my name is Ateatree.
We had a fighting game speedrun.
Ah, very good.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I'll say a little bit more at the end, but my name is Ateatree. As I always tell people, the most likely place you'll find me on the internet is by volunteering for a speedrun marathon. I do technically also stream on my own channel twice a year on average. You know, if I get my audio routing sorted out and refresh my computer, maybe that'll change. But yeah, that's me. This is Amplitude. Thank you so much to everyone for being here, for supporting Blue Path Service Animals. Jay, Cell, if you want to do any announcements now, during the song, or at the end, any time is a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I will yammer first because I love to yap. Thank you so much for having me here and on commentary. I know that it isn't 100% what we planned, but I'm still super excited to be here. There's no way that I was going to miss even just vibing out with you. Like, you are, in fact, a treat of a person to spend time with, and I'm super lucky to be here with you and showing off this game. I'm so glad that we were able to connect over it. And that you're here doing this for us. So also on behalf of Multithon, I wanted to say thank you to Ateatree for showing us this certified club banger. I'm gonna keep saying it, and let this nasty jazz track play us out. I like how we said though that you know, this is all like house and stuff like that, like house and techno and everything, and then we're ending with jazz, but that feels like the right call. Yes, this is such a banger. This song is like the banger. The bass is very, very like, it feels, I don't know, the bass feels good on this song.
And of course, shout out to chat for making this encore possible with your donations. We wouldn't have heard this otherwise.
No, so this is all because of you and because of the $1,400 that we raised and more since then. So seriously, I know that it was worth it for me. I hope that you have had fun. during this because we really, really have. Also, shout out to the jazz drums in this track. And also to any like actual like brass players in chat, we hope you like this one and that you're taking notes on some new licks and riffs to add to your own repertoire.
Yeah, I may have spent a long time doing this. Hold on. I may have spent a long time practicing this particular song to find the path that let me play as much of the solo as possible.
That was beautiful. I love your little hold on and then just casually flexing.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that in a second. Cowboy Bebop moment.
Huh? So good.
Yeah, so if you heard me say this isn't technically my favorite song from the soundtrack, and you're wondering what it is Pick of the Litter, which is the character select song. So definitely go check out the Skullgirl soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Skullgirls beginning to end is musically phenomenal. And then there's that one character, Big Band.
Yes. Yeah, Big Band is a character who has a super that lets you play music, so you can literally stunt on your opponents by playing like a taunting song or happy birthday at them. It's something really special. And in my opinion, so is Amplitude. I hope you feel the same way.
Yes.
And I hope you will stay tuned to more Multithon Rivals specifically. Anything else?
Yeah. Nothing for me. Just thanks, y'all. I love you.
Here, now that I'm not
Thank
using
you.
my hands, I can do this. I wanted to do it during the song. I'm like, wait a sec, my hands are busy. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, ateatree, so much for this incredible showcase. JPEG for the fantastic commentary. Chat, don't go away. We will be back with our next run very, very shortly.